But what was it like just working with Zappa?
I had a great time with Frank because
you're on Artist on Record, your ultimate intimate conversation with your favorite artist. And if it is your first time here, do me a favor. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell to be notified so you don't miss any other episodes. Today in the hot seat, who do we have? The original, the one and only, Mr. Don Brewer of Grand Funk Railroad.
because we actually became friends. He stayed at my house, and I stayed at his place out in LA. And when we were recording, and he invited me to come down and record one of his songs. Let me take you to the beach. Let me take you to the beach. La, 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 la. I played bongos on the song, and it was kind of one of those things that I was hanging around with Frank. I'm hanging around with Frank Zappa, this is weird. And he was that guy, that you saw the image, but he was also another whole guy, he was also this family guy, and he was really a good guy, behind all of that, and it was just, I loved hanging out with him. And he showed us a lot of stuff, about working with harmonies and doing a lot of stuff, stepping outside the box. We did that album, Good Singing, Good Playing, with him, and it was a ball. I had a terrific time working with Frank. I really did.
The record sounds great that he produced with you guys.
Yeah,
it really does. And it was a weird time with you guys because there was a lot of those drama,
a lot of tension going, a lot of tension in the band. Yeah, I mean that was really the last record we did. Yeah.
How was like Frank not only being a producer, but maybe being a referee or being that voice of reason when you guys couldn't see?
He brought us together a couple of times, and because we almost didn't make it through the record, and he sat us down, and he listened to Farner's side, and he listened to my side, and he listened to Mel, and we just kind of worked it through. He was good with that. He really was. It wasn't he brought the temperature down so that everything could move on. Really, that's what it was. Yeah.
So he could have been a marriage counselor.
That'd be pretty weird, wouldn't it? I'm going to go see Frank Zappa. Yeah.
Dr. Zappa. My buddy is the Vaultmeister, Joe Travis, who's another great drummer and a big fan of yours, and he does all the vaults for Frank, and he was able to be at Frank's, I don't know if you know Joe, but he told me a story about being where his stuff was, and right when he passed, he'll never forget, he sat there was his ashtray, everything was so surreal.
Coffee and cigarettes. That was Frank,
That was his thing, coffee and cigarettes.
He used to carry a thermos of coffee, he'd always have coffee with him and smoking cigarettes. Yeah.
Wow. Do you remember your last conversation with Frank? The last time you guys ever spoke?
Oh God, it would have been around. Well, it wasn't. It was after the record came out, and we were talking about going on tour. And Frank, I think, came to Detroit to play at Cobo Hall, and I went down to see him. And he invited me up on stage. So I played tambourine on one of his songs. That was probably the last time I saw him. It was at that show.
But a good memory you had of him the last time. That's very, very cool. And then, of course, we all know Todd Rundgren, another, great producer, right, and all that stuff. I got to say something, man. You got Todd in the Hall of Fame, and you probably get this all the time, but you're one of those guys out there, all of you, the whole band. You guys got to be in the Rock Hall of Fame here. To the viewers, if somebody's watching, stop your nonsense. Give these guys...
I've kind of given up on it. I just kind of dropped it all. There's been a lot of overtures made, and from both sides, going back and forth, and nothing ever comes of it. So, I've just blown it off. And I see some of the people that they bring in to the Rock Hall of Fame, and just go, that's not rock. That's not rock music. What does that have to do with rock and roll? Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. So I kind of dropped it. I just let it be.
What the work you've done. I mean, we talked about the Beatles' short career, and then even with the records Grand Funk that you guys put out as a band, how greatness you guys did on those early recordings. Like
we had a good body of work, and it's interesting to me still, here we're 50 some years down the road, and we're out there. We don't have the, complete original band, but we're still playing and we're selling out places, and people know those songs and they love those songs and they're singing along. They know all the lyrics to the song. And it's, I think it's a great legacy. I really do.
Absolutely, it's a great legacy. Yeah. I mean, you got guys like you got guys like Kiss is about to retire and they're still doing, you don't think getting into it, you think, oh, they'll last a year, maybe 2-3 years the most, but look how long it's last. You got to pinch yourself, and it's like, it's an incredible thing.
I never would have thought it,
never. No, it's great. Yeah. And you think of the 70s, you think of Grand Funk. It's just everybody loves Grand Funk. And you think about it, what a powerful band. I took some comments from some people I put in the chat. I go, you have a question for Don, put it here. And I put it in my chat. Joe Lynn Turner, the singer, Lynn Turner sang with Rainbow. Great guy. I told him you're coming on. He texts me right here. Cool. Grand Funk Railroad are a huge inspiration to me. And then he asked the same question as a fan of my show, Vincent Anderson 8176. Don, always loved your drumming. Who are your drummers that influenced you, and he's gonna the same thing that Joe, would you ever consider playing with Mark Farner again? One last time for the Grand Funk fans. And Joe Lynn says, would you consider Farner for a reunion tour as well?
I used to say never say never, but I really don't think it's going to happen. And as far as my, one of my favorite all-time drummers was Dino Danelli from the Rascals, and I remember seeing them on the Ed Sullivan Show, and I was like, holy crap, this guy is amazing, and that was one of my favorite all-time bands, was the Rascals. So.
And never say never. You know what? I'll hold on to that one, because the Grand Funk fans out there, you guys are watching. Of course, everybody would love to see their Beatles and everybody
sure,
together. But in defense, it's not easy to be in a marriage, and maybe a good therapist could make it all come together one day.
There's no marriage, it's a divorce, and not a good one.
No. When's your next show? When are you guys playing again?
Well, I had a little incident with a shower glass door, and I severed 2 tendons in my left hand. So we've been off for a couple of months. I had to have hand surgery, but now I'm back. I'm ready to go, and we're kicking it off in down by Atlanta, Peachtree City, Georgia, on June 2nd, and we've got another 30 shows to do this year, and so we're just gonna go. We're going.
That was Mr. Don Brewer of Grand Funk Railroad. And if you enjoyed this episode, give us a thumbs up, put your comments down below. But there'll be more of Don coming during the week. So hit that bell to be notified so you don't miss it when we air it. And also, you can see this episode unedited right now in our members only club. If you do join, there's a lot of great perks where you'll be able to join the live chat when we record these episodes. Be a part of the fun. Join our backstage party. Also, we'll be doing vinyl games where you could win vinyl records from us. But you got to be in it to win it. Join now. And I want to give a big shout out to Tara, Steve, Deb Jackson, and Debbie Muller. Welcome to the club. And as always, kids, it is only rock and roll, and we like it. Until then, I'll catch you all later. And who loves you, baby? We do.